I'm Jacob,
I'm Yuri.
and we're going for a drive.
'22 Porsche Taycan
GTS Sport Turismo with launch control. Jeez, that's fast. And those sounds are pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're definitely different like they said they were for this. Horsepower and torque.
509 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque from 2 electric motors and a 93 kilowatt-hour battery. However, it has 590 horsepower during overboost launch control mode.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds kind of the same when you're driving, but during that launch, it sounded different. Like, that sounds like every other Taycan.
They added a little bit of tang to it.
Only during the overboost launch.
But it sounds good. It feels pretty good. Definitely not as fast as a turbo, but definitely much faster than a non-turbo.
And GTSs are always the sweet spot, Yuri, and this is actually the sweet spot once again. They did it again. Let's test it into cliche corner. So handling, I already know. It's really, really good. Taycans are already really good. They kind of all feel the same, but this one feels the same in a very good way. Like, it has rear axle steering and it rips really hard, and it kind of wants to let the back end out a little.
This feels less like every electric car that just like rockets you out.
Yes.
And it feels more like you have some flow to it. And I guess that was the whole point of GTS.
Yeah, I love how this drives.
Unless you watch the actual GTS commercial, in which case it makes no sense what they're trying to show. It's like a swimmer and like people putting the swimmer down and the swimmer canceling plans, and then it's just like weird stuff.
That seems like it's kind of most modern commercials for cars. Like, they make no sense.
No, it's like that Johnny Depp DR commercial where he's like playing guitar in the desert. Like, what is this?
Also, so I'm in Sport Plus. I did that send in Sport Plus. It's really hot out today, and it said my AC has been deactivated, so I'm gonna go back into Sport, and hopefully the AC comes back on.
Yeah, please.
Because it still hasn't come back on. I'm gonna go to normal.
It's there. I feel
Okay.
it.
Let's go to Sport. And the reason that this probably handles really, really well is that it's really low to the ground. So this is the Sport Turismo. We previously drove the Cross Turismo Turbo and Turbo S or whatever.
And this is the first Sport Turismo Taycan because Cross Turismo means it's lifted and has the cladding.
Exactly. So it's a Sport Turismo because there's no plastic cladding, so it looks really good. And that's, again, why this is my favorite. And this is the only one as a GTS model.
Yeah, you can't get a Turbo or Turbo S.
Yes.
Sport Turismo.
And you can't get a Cross Turismo either because GTS makes sense for handling and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cool. I totally
get
it.
You get a lot of cool stuff like this. This is a GT steering wheel like you'd get in a GT3.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, and it's very, very fun to drive. More fun than probably any of the other ones through Cliche Corner.
I think so, because it is fast, and you're gonna get nauseated if you keep ripping it, but it's not as fast as a turbo, and that's why this is my favorite one in the lineup, which is the most cliche thing to say because it's the sweet swap, but it just is.
And then you love the wagon version.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm gonna tell you, I still like the sedan more. The wagon just looks so awkward from that front 3/4. Amazing from every other angle, but that front 3/4 just kind of ruins it for me.
You are right, the front 3/4 is not flattering, but every other angle makes this worth it, especially in this Mamba green paint. I came off the highway and a guy was driving by in a Scion TC. He looked at my car, he looked at me, and he did this.
Nice. Attention from the Scion TC owners. That's why it's worth the $200,000 price tag?
Most of the paint, I think.
But do you like this color more than that pink one?
Yes, way more.
The frozen berry?
Way more.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Dude, Mamba green, this looked amazing when we already reviewed it as a Panamera twin turbo V8 as well.
Yeah, let's do some comparison shots of both of those because they kind of look similar but kind of different, but even the Panamera Sport Turismo has a very awkward front 3/4 as well, in my opinion.
It does. Like all the Porsche wagons, I mean, kind of any wagon in general kind of has that.
No,
but like
E63 has
E63 is
and
obviously...
the RS6. Those,
okay, yeah, no, it's just the Porsches, you're right. This thing just looks so wide, low, and just beefy looking.
Yeah, it's nice.
There are some differences on the GT model. The front end looks a little bit different, the bumper.
Yeah, you don't get the ones that come up along the bottom. All the bumpers can be like slightly different along the Taycans, which makes sense.
And then the slits below the headlights seem to be a little bit bigger.
It's slight changes, and it's hard to pinpoint unless you have them all together at once.
And same with the driving characteristics. Like, they all kind of feel the same as well.
Yeah, it is impossible to get all the cars at once up here to like test out, so like we're doing our best.
Yeah, and this does have air suspension. It is very comfortable in the sportiest mode. It is also not too stiff for a GTS model.
How about looks-wise, the wheels? They're not color matched, and we know Porsche can't sell units they order green on green.
Yeah, no, these wheels look fantastic. They're black, whatever, but the wheel design itself looks great in a bronze or a gold. Perfect.
Yeah.
Just like we had in that Audi, which...
I'd like that a lot more.
Yeah, that would look awesome. You probably can do that with PTS or whatever.
And then what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Sport Turismo Taycan?
The Extreme Contact Sport.
And now until June 30th, get up to $140 in Visa prepaid cards by mail with the purchase of 4 qualifying Continental tires when you purchase with your Continental Tire credit card. Click the link in the top comment or in the description below for more details.
And then we have regular brakes. We don't have carbon ceramics because we have red calipers.
I feel like that's fine.
And the wheels look really good when you have it in its lowest mode, which is sport mode. So you can actually change that through your infotainment, through your chassis height.
Nice, yeah. It's nice to be able to dump it.
It's like dump. Like it looks fantastic.
Dumps like a truck.
Classic.
Like what? For all you Gen Z, that's Cisco.
Yes. And since this is an electric car, we do have to talk about electricity a little bit.
Oh yeah, what's the range?
So I don't actually know at the time of filming. If I get a number back, I will put it up on the screen. However, at 80%, this car had about 315 kilometers, so I imagine it is more than that. And the turbo is rated at, I think, 323 kilometers, so just expect something around that.
And there is no EPA range at this moment that we can look up.
That's why.
So yeah.
And then the charging time is the same as all the other Taycans, 800 volt architecture, 22.5 minutes to 5 to 80%, whatever, all that fun stuff in the perfectly ideal, perfect circumstances you probably won't ever really get.
Make sure you have a charger at home.
Yes, exactly. It's an electric car, you just have to.
But then we were talking earlier about how, do we really care about fast electric cars?
No.
Like we kind of like the idea of commuter electric cars for range. But like when it comes to sporty ones, it's kind of like, eh.
I feel like I just want the one with the most range, not necessarily the fastest one.
Like if Porsche made like a super hyper-miling lightweight EV that wasn't fast, that would be cool.
Like a 700 kilometer range and like isn't
super
fast.
Slippery.
Yeah.
Very function built.
Yeah, which I think Mercedes has just done with the, I don't even know the model designations anymore, EQQST. SUV, I don't know. It looks gorgeous.
Well, isn't there a Volkswagen like something?
Yeah,
the side curtain
XL1 or whatever, but that was like a diesel electric.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. They don't talk about that anymore.
Oh yeah, because it's probably a cheater one.
Yeah.
Ram got caught doing that too just recently.
Yeah, lots of people still getting caught over that.
Yeah.
So I think that's all I really wanted to talk about behind the wheel. How's your neck?
Not as bad as a turbo. Honestly, fine.
Exactly.
Fine.
That's why sweet spot. All right, let's get you into the sweet spot of this driver's seat.
No talkie, electric sports sound only.
No talkie?
No talkie.
Okay. You can really feel that 2-speed transmission and hear it.
I think they added sound to emphasize the 2-speed.
I think so too. Like that's the thing that I noticed the most on the first launch.
Great job, Hans Zimmer.
I
think that's the BMW.
No.
I don't know. What's that Mercedes?
I don't know. Everyone's picking a composer from a movie that they liked when they were a kid.
I'm waiting for Green Day to start doing sounds for some cars.
I'm sure Deadmau5 will do them because it's electric music.
The new Sirius XM station's going to be electric car sounds.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Deadmau5 did like McLaren EV sounds because he likes McLarens.
And now for a little sweet spotness through the cliche cornerness.
Yeah, dude, that steering it's telepathic, Yuri.
It feels so nice. Look at that flow.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel gross at all. I may not be going the speed of lightning, but
this is the electric Miata wagon of electric cars.
I think I still kind of like the slower rear-wheel drive one a little bit more, which we don't get in Canada. I think it just it felt nicer. Like I don't need all this speed.
Right.
But I do like it.
Need for speed.
Yeah, I don't have the need for speed.
No, not in this. Like it is nice to have, but it'd be nice to just have range and go to the grocery store.
But the thing is, it's like you always want the top trim. Like
yeah.
If you're rich, the hell if I want the sweet spot.
But I'd be okay with the GTS. Like I'd be even better with the GTS wagon.
No, but if you're rich, you got to show up with something that says Turbo S on it.
People respect the GTS.
And then you can explain to people why it's a Turbo S, even though it's electric and doesn't have a turbo.
Fair
you
enough.
get to talk about yourself more.
Yeah. Hey, go to your turbocharger to charge your car. Oh wait, it's a supercharger at Tesla.
And now for the stuff that I was very excited about hopping into this car is we have color-coded buttons on our infotainment for once.
Dude, my mind was blown when I first started this car. I didn't realize Porsche updated that.
Yeah, because most infotainments over the last 3 years have gone to like monochromatics, the same gray or same color, and it's hard to differentiate what icon is which. And now they're bringing it back, and so it's easier to just see and click, less distracting.
It is great. Like, it looks a little cartoonish, but it's functional.
I'm surprised you can't turn that off in the infotainment settings, like nothing I could find to go back.
I feel like that would confuse people too much.
But I love this. Great job, Porsche. Whoever's doing this, you are fantastic. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
And then this one has a nice moonroof, but it does not have the option to have the cool one that changes all the different things.
Yeah, all the tiles.
I was so excited about that, so we're just gonna steal a clip from Doug DeMuro's video and show that.
Doug, please don't.
Please don't copyright strike us.
Yes.
And then to control the vents, still through the infotainment, which I do not like and you do not like either.
Yeah, still can't get used to it, so I've just left it on diffused and set my auto temperature and never looked at it again.
As the passenger, do you like the passenger screen?
I do, it's entertaining. I like it. Like, I don't really want to look down because
Yeah.
I will probably get motion sickness, but it's cool to have.
I didn't look at it 1 second while you were driving or anything. I was just looking forward. But
Dude, look at, we're going up in elevation through Cliche Corner. We're now at 179 meters above sea level.
if you had like a nerdy kid or like a nerdy friend, like that would be so interesting, I think.
It would be.
And then how about our gauge cluster?
I love it. It works really well. It's functional.
I can see everything.
Yes, because it's got the 3 gauges in the middle rather than the 5 on regular Porsches.
And the steering wheel feels great. The seats are very comfortable. There's room in the back for me.
There's room in the back for me, and because it's a wagon, I have extra headroom.
Let's look at the trunk space.
Pretty damn good. Not great, but decent.
Not worth it for me to jump from this to a Taycan sedan.
It's more worth it for the shape for me.
Yeah. It's more of a looks than a function.
Yeah, and then we also have a frunk, as we have in the normal Taycan, which isn't very large.
Smaller than a 911.
Yes.
And then this does have SiriusXM. It does rewind, but Porsche now has a way to toggle through your favorites. So you set up this button on the steering wheel to go to your next track, right?
Yep.
And then in your infotainment, in your radio setting, which is red, which is really cool, you click on these 3 things on the right, scroll down to favorites, then you can click play, and when you click this button on the steering wheel, you're just gonna toggle through your favorites. So they finally have a solution.
Because before it would just go through all your stations.
Yeah.
There you go. They fixed a lot of stuff with this updated infotainment.
Yo, shout out Porsche engineer who watches the Straight Pipes and figured this all out for us.
And it obviously rewinds SiriusXM satellite radio.
Yeah, of course. And if you want to rip through the SiriusXM favorites in your own car, get a free 3-month trial to SiriusXM by going to SiriusXM.ca or .com/TheStraightPipes.
And then we have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and they are color-coded when you're connected to them.
Shout out color-coded.
Shout out color-coded.
That's all I ever wanted.
Yes,
I think they should have an option to non-color-coded, so like in demo mode it looks nice. But great, it probably helps sell them, even though they probably all sell out anyway.
Nobody cares. And then cup holders are great as they are in other Taycans. They fit cups, no problem.
Visors?
Visors are probably gonna fail.
3, 2, 1.
Full fail.
But they look cool.
Yeah, they're race techs, just like the steering wheel.
Is that pretty much everything with the new Taycan Sport Turismo?
I think that's everything with this one, Yuri.
Let's get to the price.
Obviously a lot of money. It's a Porsche, it's electric. This one starts at $152,700.
Canadian.
And this one is optioned out to $185,710.
Makes sense for what this is.
It slots in between a 4S and a turbo because it's the sweet spot, Yuri. It really is.
It is. It just like sucks that we have to say that because it's true.
Yeah, it's the most cliche thing we could ever say.
Cliche corner, cliche stuff.
It's what it is, cliche pipes.
Yeah. And if you're looking to get your own Sport Turismo, hit up tsp.truecar.com.
Highly recommend purchasing one of these vehicles because this is my favorite one.
Or like a used Panamera Sport Turismo.
Yeah, with the twin turbo V8.
Like,
I would go with the twin turbo V8. Yeah, I just would.